UMBC Retrievers were crowned champions, totaling a record.
UMBC, the 2019 America East Conference champions.
The first ever number 16 seed to defeat a number 1 seed in an NCAA.
Kasai with the chip, and look at Hauk with the run, and he just gets a foot on it.
Swing and a miss. The Retrievers, it's like a stone wall. It's incredible that the Retrievers have been able to even.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Retriever Report. I'm Paul Mittermeier. Big show for you today. Later on in the program, we'll talk to women's volleyball. Cristina Robertson will join us, the head coach, and Taylor Dunn from the women's volleyball team will also be here. Right now, let's kick it off with the men's soccer program, and we're joined by coaches Pete Caringi and PC3, or Pete Caringi the third, as I like to call him, PC3. Welcome in, guys, and tough conference. Go for you guys over the last month, but you guys have to feel like you're close. It's kind of be like a roller coaster season for you guys when you talk about the 2019 campaign.
It has been a roller coaster season, and obviously we've been very frustrated with the results. I think the guys have been playing really well, for a while, and still now we've missing some players, some key players, but you can't make excuses. You got to go out and play the game, and at the end of the day, I thought just our last game. We played really, really well and just cannot score. And, you go up to Binghamton and you find ways to attack and get yourself in the box and almost come away with a goal. And next thing you know, they come away with a goal and 1-0 win, and you come back very frustrated.
It's kind of been the theme of you guys have played really well. You go back to the New Hampshire game. They're 12-0-2 on the season. They pretty much have rolled all their opponents, yet there was one breakdown. They score a great goal, end up losing 1-0 there. You get the tie at Hartford. Couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. So you guys are really close, just not getting what you want result-wise.
I think that's the season in a nutshell. Obviously soccer is a very frustrating sport, and it's not always the best team gets the result. And for us, I think as the season went on, we got better, but we're not getting the result, and we're coming away much more frustrated. Obviously, we're not in the best position right now, but the good thing about the guys is that they continue to fight and they continue to work hard. And we have 6 seniors who basically have been playing a lot here down the stretch, and they have 2 games left to go, and hopefully we can get a result this Saturday and stay in the race.
Coach, you talked about, we talked about the roller coaster. You scored 9 goals. You talked about missing key players. When Chisari came back for you guys those couple games, I think you saw the potential of what your offense can be. You have to be pleased with what Ryan Betcher's brought as a freshman. And I think sometimes it seemed as though your best offense has been through Alejandro Arbalez in the midfield. It just doesn't seem like it's on a consistent basis, but you've seen signs of what it can be. Well,
you have seen signs, and a lot of the guys that you're mentioning are still young players. And I think, a kid like Ryan Betcher came in and, he scored 4 goals right off the bat, and he's played really well. He's been one of the best freshmen in the country, and he's been ranked at. But as freshmen, they also they're going through their first season, and it's a lot of games condensed in a little bit of time. And here at the end, it becomes a little bit overwhelming for some of them. And I think they've all handled it pretty well, and Ryan especially. So it becomes like with the travel and the school and the academics and just a little bit of everything, it becomes by the end, it's almost not like the seniors. They kind of got it down, or the juniors, but the young players, it's their first experience of having so much coming at them. But yeah, I thought they've played really well.
Pete, I want to bring you in and talk about coaching up the young guys and kind of getting them and the transition from high school to this level and kind of what you're trying to accomplish there.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of guys that have scored a lot of goals at the high school club level, and there is a transition. It's more of a physical style, especially playing forward in college. A lot more athleticism involved, a lot of different things. Shooting, got to shoot a lot quicker, just a bunch of different things that they're learning. And like I said, it's been kind of frustrating the last couple of weeks with the offense because we've had chances, we've been in the right spots. There's been some we probably should have finished and didn't. Post, a bunch of different things, but we're that close. So I think, at least for the future, I think we have a lot of good pieces moving forward, especially even young guys like Dottie and all them that have been playing well. But yeah, it's just executing right now, which is kind of the problem. But they're learning, they're doing the right things, and they're soaking everything in the right way.
Talk to me about some of these guys up front. First of all, what do you see when you look at Ryan Betcher? What impresses you most about him?
When Ryan wants to play, he's one of the best players on the field. I think he can win headers. He can get in good spots. Great shot. He does a lot of different things. Covers a lot of ground. He's obviously played at a good level before at Philly Union before coming here. So when he's on and he wants to play, especially at a young age, he has potential of being very, very good moving forward. But he's helped us a lot in a lot of different aspects, whether it's aerial duels, whether it's keeping the ball, or whether it's going to goal. So I've been really impressed with him, and I'm excited to see how he continues to progress.
I mentioned Alejandro. Talk to me about his skill level, and just seems though he has the ability to kind of control things in the midfield, and also is a kid that's shown that he can finish as well.
Yeah, I think you, especially in the center mid, you need a guy that can go box to box, defend and attack at the same time, and you need someone when everything's kind of crazy on the field to get a ball and be able to switch it to kind of calm everything down. And he's good at both of those things. He's taken more of a role of being more of that hard-working, more the guy to keep the ball for us and to help us with our attacking, through balls through and everything. So he's, from the beginning of the year to now, he's progressed every single day. He's taken more of a vocal role too compared to before. So I've been impressed with him and Ryan in that middle. I've been impressed with how it's been going offensively and defensively for them. So like I said, they're both young. They can both continue to play with each other and pass this year to the next years, and we're excited about it. But I've been impressed with both of them, how they've been so far.
Coach, defensively, we had Quantrell on last month, and I know you probably asked him. He probably wanted to have a better season, but he's shown flashes of greatness. I think the one that stands out was the save on Ben Stitz in the Penn game. One of the most incredible saves of the season. Talk about how you guys have done defensively, and I know it hasn't been great, but I think you guys have done some good things too.
Well, I think overall we have improved defensively. I think in the beginning of the year, once again, a lot of new players, young players, guys haven't played together. And I think the key to a really good defense is the chemistry of the backs with the goalkeeper. So, Quantrell's playing with some new guys. And, when you look at how they've formed and how they've come together since the beginning of the year, they've really played well. It's just unfortunate. It just seems like an inopportune time. A goal's going in, and you can kind of make it up to a mistake or just a lack of execution once again. So, I think we have to shore it up a little bit, but overall it's gotten a lot better.
Talk about that Penn game, because you saw a kid like Ben Stitz from Baltimore, from Curly, of course, Barry Stitz's son, and you guys have a lot of Baltimore players on your team. This is still a great hotbed for soccer in the country, right?
Oh, yeah, and Benny played well, and look at the crowd that night, over 2,000 people in a midweek game, and it just says a lot about our program. It says a lot about the Baltimore soccer community that they came out, and a lot of people came out to support Benny, and a lot of people came out to support our players. So I think that's probably one of the things as a Baltimore soccer player from the past, that we're most proud of, how the young guys continue to come up, and guys like Pete who went through the system and now getting into coaching, and it's really that generation thing.
I wanted to ask you about adjusting to life as a coach. You've been here a few years now. What's the biggest differences between being a player and being a coach, and kind of having to make those adjustments over the last few years?
I think the biggest thing is when something on the field is not going right, you kind of want to run out there and fix it. But no, I think it's every year, obviously getting away from playing to more coaching, in about 5 years in now. Mm-hmm. It's just more working with the younger guys, trying to see what they see and work with them. Obviously, even as a player, you got to learn that they might not see the game the same way you do on the field, even the same positions. So you can't just assume that everyone's going to play the same as you or try to have the same mindset. You have to try to find what works for them, what works better for them, and make it work on the field. And I think it's been a good little transition overall, and it's completely different than playing, but I've enjoyed it. It's been exciting, and obviously we're going through a little rough patch right now, but overall I think the last couple seasons have been pretty good, so it's been good overall.
I've seen this. You always see great players sometimes have trouble transitioning as coaches. How frustrating is it when you're somebody that was a great player and did things, to watch guys that maybe aren't as good but try to help them be better? How much of a challenge is that? I
think the hard part is just the instinct section. I think we'll talk about certain things, certain runs, certain movements, go over certain shooting, but there's certain instincts where there's be times where I'll watch and think I'm going to make that run, and they might make a run that'll be done in practice, and it will go in the spot where I thought it would be, and that's the most frustrating thing. Is I feel like my instincts as a player was really good, so know where to go. So that's kind of the hard part, of little things like that, of the instincts and where to be, and kind of the more unnatural plays of, all right, this is where you're supposed to be, but I know the ball's going to go there, so I'm going to go there. And little things like that are more the frustrating parts. But especially at a time when we're not scoring as much right now, it's kind of frustrating to watch from that side of things. But like I said, I got to step back, got to realize, obviously, that those days are done. What can you do to help these guys? And knowing that we have a young group up top that I believe will be very good moving forward, and just keeping hope and staying the course.
Coach, last thing before we go, senior day coming up next week, 6 seniors, a couple local kids as well. Trey Pulliam, Colin Wyant, kind of, sum up what Baltimore soccer is all about. I mean, especially Colin, how tough he's been and how versatile he's been as a player for you during his career.
Yeah, I mean, I'm real proud of both of them. They came from great high school programs, brought up in the local system. They won national championships as young players for the Celtic. And at the end of the day, they came here and they were recruited by a lot of schools. They both had, a lot of accomplishments coming out of high school, and they both played 4 years, and hopefully getting on course now to get their degree. And they meant a lot to the program, and they've kind of followed that tradition of guys like Pete and Mamadou and the local guys that went through this program. And it's always going to be the main center of our focus, even as we branch out and go further and further away to try to bring in players to play. But yeah, I'm proud of their accomplishments, and hopefully we can get set on the right course here in the last 2 games and try to get some wins and make them go out a winner.
Coach, always a pleasure. Petey, thank you so much as well.
Paul, thank you for all you've done.
You got it. Come on out next Wednesday as we will talk about homecoming, or excuse me, senior day, and also the last home game for the Retrievers as they take on Stony Brook at Retriever Soccer Park. Stay tuned. Coming back, we're going to talk women's volleyball with Cristina Robertson and Taylor Dunn coming up on the Retriever Report.
That experience in Charlotte was amazing. It really was beyond the expectations of the world. It was dazzling. So much so that we all said the next morning, did that really happen? So it was a fun experience, a great pride for our students, combination of academics and athletics. And quite frankly, I think the best of the American East, the whole brand is about the combination of athletics and academics.
It's important anywhere to spread respect, no matter where you're from. I mean, this is a safe place and you can be yourself.
Nobody has to not be who they are. You can be who you are, whether it's gay, straight.
It's about race, it's about religion and all that.
We all need to respect each other. We're all humans.
Love each other, be kind to each other, care about your neighbors.
You can learn so much, about yourself when you're with somebody else that's not like you and a little bit different.
Welcome back to the Retriever Report. It's time to talk women's volleyball, joined by women's head volleyball coach Cristina Robertson and Taylor Dunn from the women's volleyball team. Welcome in, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
You got it. Coach, let's start. I know it hasn't been the season you probably wanted. There's been some struggles. You've lost some heartbreakers, though. I was there. I called the Delaware game. You guys won the first set against a very good Delaware team. There's been some heartbreaking 5-set losses at home as well. But talk to me. This is year 2 for you of kind of changing the culture. Just talk to me about the season.
There have been some heartbreakers out there, and
We started the season pretty well, but we do have a bunch of young women who are competing together. We have tried a lot of lineups on the floor to find some consistency. I think as the season went, we grew a lot, both on and off the floor. I believe we have a pretty healthy culture where the older kids are embracing the younger kids and showing them how things are done around here and how we do things at UMBC. The results have been seen in the classroom, the results have been seen off the floor, and the results have been seen on the volleyball floor as well. It's just we couldn't finish some of those hard matches. As you know, the sports of volleyball, you can score a lot of points for the opponents. And with us trying to glue together, all 14 of us to be one heartbeat, playing for each other and not making errors, trying to get to know each other, we have had a few unforced errors that make our opponents go ahead of us.
Let's talk about off the court for a second because, you mentioned you guys are getting it done off the court in the classroom. And talk about the 18-19 academic year. You guys win the award. Talk about the award you guys won academically.
Yeah, it's the AVCA Academic Award, and you have to have a 3.5 and higher as a team. And our team came together and put their minds to it. And when we talked about goals for preseason, we always talk about individual goals, volleyball goals, strength and conditioning goals, academic goals. One of those goals was to have over 3.3 GPA as a team. And together with our academic coordinators, and us, they did a wonderful job using the resources that UMBC offers. We have great tutors, we have great mentors like Abby. She's been helping us a lot, and they went and they did what they were supposed to do. They encouraged each other, and even though we have some of the most difficult majors around, we still were very successful and very proud of how they got together and reached their goals.
A lot of pre-med majors, which is a big challenge, right?
Yes, very, very challenging, a lot of labs. But us as coaches, I believe in academics. I believe that they need to graduate. They are student athletes, and if they're not happy with their academics or their social or their lives outside of volleyball, it's going to be very hard for them to be happy on the floor and compete for us. So we are very good and very understanding about them attending class. Some of them need to leave early. Some of them need to come in a little late. We need to adjust practice time, so we're not every day 3:30 to 5:30. It's 4 to 6. So we are very flexible when it comes to academics because we want them to be successful. Because we understand as a school, as a UMBC, it's very important for them to be to strive academically.
We talk about changing the culture. The challenge for you as a coach when you come in is trying to figure out what kind of athlete you want and kind of the kind of girls you want to recruit. Talk to me about that and understanding, what girl fits the system here at UMBC.
Yeah, we found, luckily I came into a situation where we had a wonderful group of young women, and they all are working very hard, and that's the typical athlete that I want. Hard workers, honest, having integrity, playing with some hearts and playing for each other. It's a lot of intangibles. Of course, they're athletes, that's why they're here. We already recruited them for their athleticism, but just someone who's passionate, selfless, puts the team behind them. Like they play for each other, they love each other. Someone who's supportive of each other, and we know with women it's a little different than men, where we need to get along to function. So people who can fit our culture and our values.
I know a girl that fits that mold is Taylor Dunn, no question about it.
Yes.
Taylor, let's start on the court. 369 assists this year, 96 digs. I wanted to ask you with assists, talk to me about not just being a setter, but also understanding, and Coach talked about it, going the nuances of your teammates. I guess it's all about knowing what the girls like when they want to finish, right? And getting that to them, right?
Yeah, so Coach always talks about it. It's about being basically the quarterback, and you kind of have to control a lot of things on the court. Our defense makes my job easier. They're awesome, and just feeding the hitters, knowing what sets they like. Everybody's different. And communication is so important. And so just keep talking about what everybody likes, what they didn't like, and moving forward is really important.
How much of a process is that, and how much time does that really take to help understand where everybody is and try to get them on the same page?
So definitely with new people coming in, it did take more time just to know kind of how they play and how everybody meshes well together. So it did take a little bit more time as far as our returners. I kind of had a feel about what they liked, so that was a little bit easier, but it's always a work in progress. There's always work to be had. Not everything's going to be perfect 24/7, so depending on what kind of pass it is where the set's going to go. So,
talk to me about being the team captain, kind of those responsibilities and kind of embracing that role as a student athlete.
So it's been quite an honor to be a captain for our amazing team. Everybody's just so passionate about volleyball, and they work hard every single day, so it's not too hard to have to stay on them all the time. So basically just making sure everybody's loving each other. We always talk about how love is very important, and everybody's just on the same page and sticking together no matter what, whether we're down 10 points, whether we're up 10 points, that we all have each other's backs and reminding each other that we're in this together and we're not going to win until we are together. So it's very important.
What are some of the things you've enjoyed most about being here at UMBC and kind of the campus life, maybe off the court?
So I'll start off the court. I've gotten really involved in the Retriever Project. It's become something really important to me. It's about the mental health of our athletes, and it's something that I think everybody can benefit from, learning from. So we had our first meeting the other week, and we had a great turnout from teams everywhere. So I think teams really coming together and supporting each other is awesome. Start to get that ball rolling. But UMBC has been awesome. I can't believe it's already been 4th year. It's flying by, but everything's been amazing. The team has been awesome. Coaches have been so supportive and encouraging, and it's definitely been an awesome 4 years. So.
Talk to me more about the Retriever Project and kind of what was the inspiration for you and why you wanted to get involved and the push for you to do this.
So last year, Michaela Krinitz and Jenna from the softball team, they started talking about they wanted this initiative with the America East, with UMBC, and making mental health just something that people are talking about more and making that stigma kind of go away so that people are more open to talking about it to each other, to their coaches, and making it just less scary. So when I heard about it, I wanted to jump on it because I just think it's amazing, and everybody can, benefit from it because of all this amazing information that is provided and resources that are all in UMBC that most people don't even know about. So just putting that out there and allowing people to support everybody, not just people on their team, but people on other teams, and learning how to help others and help yourself.
How do you think volleyball and being a part of a team has helped you be better as a person and maybe helped you outside of sports as well in real life?
So volleyball has definitely given me a lot of resources, and I really feel like I've grown as a person and as a leader, and just trying to see what people need and helping them on the court and off the court. It's all about reading people, and volleyball is super mental, emotional, and I've definitely learned that how to read people, how to help them is very important.
Cristina, it's amazing. You think about the sport, and Taylor just said it. It's like you have to. It's like football. If you don't have 6 girls working as a unit together, you can't. It's not going to work. You have to have everybody on the same page.
Yeah, it's not just 6. For us, it's 14 girls. With each one of them has a different role. For us, it doesn't matter if you're the stud or, or you're cheering for your team all the time. For us, all of them need to work. Like in any given day, whoever is on the court needs to gel. Whoever is off the court needs to gel as well. Plus, coaches coming into the mix and have that chemistry, because otherwise, it's so mental, it's so emotional. We're there in like compact space, and it's the adrenaline running. It's so much to it. It's a very mental game. That's why it's really easy in times when we may be losing or we're not our best to be mean to each other or to give up on each other. And because we are in such a close proximity, you feel it, and us as women, we feel it even more. So that's why I think it's so important to reach out to your teammates and know, like, hey, she's got my back. I may be having a bad day, but you know what? She's got my back. I know my teammate is cheering really hard from the bench and tells me what I can do better when I come out. And everyone loves me at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, we'll be okay. We'll push through together and be successful.
Ladies, thank you so much for the time. A big weekend for you guys next weekend, right? Friday, Sunday matches here at UMBC.
Yes.
Come on out to the event center and support the women's volleyball team. Ladies, thank you so much. Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
You got it. That's going to do it for the Retriever Report. I'm Paul Mittermeier saying so long. Talk to you next time.